I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This time is a Patreon review for Kanan Vasquez, and that is for the 1979 film The Amityville Horror. Now, I want to thank everyone who has joined me on my Patreon. If you're ever interested in requesting a review or a re-review or movie topic, you either do so directly via my PayPal or you can join me on my Patreon. The link to both is down below in the info box. If not, no worries. If so, thank you. Now, I've reviewed a lot of horror franchises on this channel, but I never did one on the Amityville horror films. And to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of them. Really, the only ones I've seen is probably 1, 2, and the remake. Now, I was a fan of the remake. The second film, I remember not minding it as a possession. It's a prequel story, so obviously you know how it's going to end, pretty much. But not a bad movie. But I've always enjoyed this film. I know this is a horror film that a lot of people are not fans of, even though some have deemed it a classic. This is one of those classics that people go, it's overrated, it's not their cup of tea. They kind of push this aside. I've always enjoyed this ever since I saw this on VHS. I would say if I did a top 10 favorite haunted house films, this would probably be on the list. Of course, it's based on the Lutzes, and from all I've heard, their story that was full of shit. But hey, what can you do? It was an interesting story to tell, whether it's a lie or not. And it made someone money, because they keep making them to this day. The fact they want to make even more. And not only of the actual franchise, Amityville, but there's so many offshoots of Amityville. There's a found footage Amityville movie, which I haven't seen that one. But yeah, there's a found footage Amityville movie. I mean, there's the one that Elizabeth Shue was in, that got delayed for years. There's Amityville Dollhouse. There's Amityville It's About Time. There's Amityville Waka Waka Waka. There's Amityville 5. San Dimas 7. San Dimas Football Rules. I mean, there's so many fucking Amityville movies. It's insane that this became one of those franchises that to this day they're still doing stuff with. But I like this movie. I like James Brolin. I liked his performance. I like Margot. They move in with their kids, and the house, I love the look of the house. I always loved the design of the house. I thought it was one of the cooler, from the outside perspective, designs of the house, where it looks as if it has actual eyes. The way it's shaped, I always enjoyed that. I thought the direction, I believe this is the same director that did Cool Hand Luke and Brubaker and other movies. I thought the direction was pretty good. Early on, when they're showcasing the death of the previous family, and they're doing this via shotgun sounds and the way it's edited. because in the beginning, James Brolin and Margot get this house, and each room they go in, as a guy, as the person, not only as a guy, but the person's telling them about the house. Each room they go in, it flashes to what previously happened in that room. I thought that was a neat idea, directorial wise. Rod Steiger, I thought, did a nice job as the priest. I really felt sorry for the character with what happens to him when all he tried to do was the right thing, and truly he didn't sadly accomplish anything because they don't get out because of him. So almost to say what happens to him was all for naught. So it makes his character even more tragic as the priest. And the scares that it has may be cliche or typical, but I'm not an expert on haunted houses, but this may be a film that a lot of movies in the future would get it from this movie. You know, a voice saying, "Get out." Or when people go in, they get violently sick, and later on the fucking walls are bleeding. There's a thing in the basement. It's a fucking passageway to hell. The way it utilizes flies. Whether the flies get on the priest or certain moments you just see flies stutter around certain areas. Also, I thought this, compared to the remake, this did a better job at showcasing the progression of your main character becoming this, consumed by this evil. The remake, with how they tried to do with Ryan Reynolds, I just didn't think it was not nearly as effective as here with James Brolin. You know, I thought the beginning they really did showcase that he's a decent guy. These aren't his kids, but he loves his woman, but he's trying to do the best for all of them. And then slowly, this evil is consuming him. He's losing it. He's losing it. He's getting more easily frustrated, more easily to anger. You know, I don't like lectures. He's chopping wood, and more harshly. And, "Hey, can you come over here?" "Sure." And he just takes the axe and throws it right into the fucking tree and sticks there. Because I thought, at least in this, again, there was a more progression, and then there's more of him seem as if he's trying to fight it a little bit. I'm blanking out because I'm trying to remember the remake. That's how little shits I gave of the remake. I'm trying to remember that film. I guess that tells you the whole story, and I can't remember a fucking thing anymore about the remake. And it was funny, the only thing I remember is I love the theme in this. They use it in the trailer as well to the remake, and then in the movie, the remake, they don't use the music at all. You know, that da 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 da. I always thought that was a really creepy theme. Very eerie musical theme. With the childish, you know, the child noises and singing, and even the music itself. Na 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 na. And yeah, I found it funny that in the remake, in the trailers they use it, but not in that remake they used it. They didn't use it at all. But anyway, it was a nice way to open and end the movie on that music. And this one, compared to the remake, this one I just felt a bit more of that 70s grit with the film stock and how certain sequences come off. Like they find the basement, this room in the basement behind the walls, and all the walls are covered in red. Not blood, but they're just red, kind of like this. And I like that James Brolin, like I say, he's trying to fight off a little bit. that he's losing it, but there's moments that he's trying to get composure, so it's not just one note. For some reason, I remember there's Ryan Reynolds, once he turns, it's just one note and that's it. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. But of course, more and more strange things happen, and you get to the finale. Which this finale I liked a lot more than the remake, because spoiler alert, I like that really Margot Kidder does help Jace Brolin snap out of it. But then Jace Brolin does snap out of it. And immediately he's like, oh my god, I'm sorry. Like he's immediately upset, sad, remorseful is the word I'm looking for. He's immediately remorseful. And they actually give him something to do. Where they did now, and then he goes back for the dog. I can see whoever fine-lined the ending. What I mean by that is dot the I's, cross the T's on the ending. They went, well, let's have the father do something heroic at least, since he was almost ready to kill his wife and the kids. So at least he does something heroic. And people may groan at that, but I actually like that. I actually preferred that. Which they don't do that in the remake. I actually prefer that he does something noble and something... It wasn't his fault to begin with, but in essence he does something to redeem himself. I liked that aspect. I wish there was more when he's getting the dog. I mean, this... Maybe they thought that this shit really did happen, but I don't think it did. If you want to know my opinion, I don't think anything happened with the Lutzes. I don't. Especially not to this degree. So, to me, it's a dramatization. And if that's the case, I wish the ending was a bit more epic at James Brolin's escape. He's rescued the dog, he's covered all this goop. I wish his escape was more epic. I mean, the doors have slammed shut. You'd have the walls bleeding more. You'd have him try to get to one window and another, and you'd even throw in cliche stuff, the fucking shit, furniture flying at him, or chandelier, whatever, try to drop on him, and I just wish there was a bit more to his escape. Because he goes on, he falls in this goop, he gets out, he gets the dog, the door closes, and then you cut to outside, then he kicks out a window. I wish there was just more to his escape. Not saying it needed to be an action film, but just a little bit more, just more. Bit more scary stuff, or creepy stuff, or visceral stuff, or yes, even physical stuff. But yeah, that's one of my only few complaints. I know a lot of people, again, they're not fans of this film. They think it's overrated, this and that. Like I said, I like the musical score, especially the main theme. I thought the cast did a good job. I like James Brolin. A lot of people say he's over the top or campy. I disagree. I rather enjoyed it. Rod Steiger, again, his character felt sorry for. Though the film never scared me, but not to toot my own horn, not a lot of films do scare me. It's hard to judge a film for me that it wasn't scary. I mean, I have said that in films I hate, but I can't think of many films that have scared me in my life. I don't know, because real life is scarier, I guess. But I wouldn't say there was any set pieces. I mean, you had the scene with the babysitter's locked in her closet, and she comes out, she's all cut up. You have an instance where a window slams on a kid's hand. One graphic moment is a nightmare scene where Margot imagines her husband putting an axe in her head. And you see the axe go like from the back. I forgot about that. I went, ooh. I assumed it was a dream because I know the ending of the film, but I forgot about that part. Like, ooh, shit. And the walls of stairs start bleeding. I always thought that was a cool idea. I would say story-wise, I would put, say, The Legend of Hell House above this. I'm trying to think of other haunted house movies. I do like this more than The Haunting. I probably would put House on a Haunted Hill remake above this. I don't know why. I'm trying to think of actual haunted house movies. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of movies with ghosts in them. I mean, the Conjuring films, I don't mind them, but I like films like this and House on Haunted Hill remake more. That's just me. And I don't mind the two Conjuring films. But I guess how I feel about them is maybe how people feel about this, and vice versa. But yeah, I like the Amityville Horror. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you in the next video. Later.